Number 33. A times C is negative 30, and B is 7. What two numbers will add to 7 but multiply to negative 30? Often when I have a 0, I'll look at 10 first as a factor. 10 times 3 is 30. Well, that's very closely related to 7. I have a positive 7, so I'm going to use a positive 10 and a negative 3. Negative 3 times 10 is negative 30, and add them together to get 7. Notice I put the negative factor on the left just to make it a little easier here when I rewrite. 2x squared minus 3x plus 10x minus 15. This middle term has been rewritten as negative 3x plus 10x. I'm going to factor by grouping. 2 is not a common factor. X times 2x minus 3. I get 2x squared back minus 3x plus, a common factor here would be 5. 5 times 2x will bring back 10x, and 5 times a negative 3 gives a negative 15. Our common binomial comes out, 2x minus 3 times x plus 5. Number 34. Two times 15 is 30. That goes up here. Negative 13 goes down here. Two numbers, again I have a 30. I'll try 10. 10 and 3 makes 30. I have a negative 13. So a negative 10 plus a negative 3 will give negative 13 times each other gives a positive 30. Now we can use these two coefficients to rewrite this middle term. 2x squared minus 10x minus 3x plus 15. Factor by grouping. I'm going to make this a plus minus and surround the second two terms with parentheses. Common factor is 2x times x minus 5 plus. I have a negative here. This was a minus. We always pull out a minus when we want to make the terms here, the binomial terms, look the same. I want an x minus 5 here. If I pull out a minus 3, then negative 3 times x will give negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 5 will give a positive 15. And I have the matching binomials. X minus 5 times 2x minus 3. It's done. I'm going to skip down to 36. Two times 15 is 30. The middle term is 13. Again, I have a 30 here. Let's try 10 and 3. And 10 and 3 works. 10 times 3 is 30. 10 plus 3 is 13. Rewriting the middle term. With the 10 as a coefficient of x and a 3 as a coefficient of x. Notice we have 10x plus 3x is 13x. We're just rewriting this middle term in a way that splits it so we can factor these by grouping. We need 4 terms to factor by grouping. 2x times x plus 5 plus 3 times x plus 5. Common factor of x plus 5. And what's left is a 2x in this term and a 3 on this term. I'm going to skip down to 38. Here's the diamond. A is 6 and C is negative 12. 6 times negative 12 is negative 72. The middle term has a 1 as a coefficient. That goes here. 6 times negative 12, negative 72. The middle term is a 1 as a coefficient. Factors of negative 72, there's many of them. I happen to know that 8 and 9 are very close together, so the difference of them will be 1. So let's try, we have a positive one. Let's try negative 8 and 9. 9 times negative 8 gives negative 72. If you add 9 plus negative 8, you get 1. I have the negative on this side. I'm going to rewrite 6x squared with a minus 8x first, plus 9x. These are the coefficients for the x's. It does not matter which order I put them in. Minus 12. Factoring by grouping, 2x is the greatest common factor. X minus, 3x. That would give 6x squared minus 4 plus, the greatest common factor here is 3 times 3x minus 4. Common factor is 3x minus 4, and what's left for this term is 2x plus 3, and it's done. I'll skip over to number 40. Making the diamond to allow us to know what to split this middle term into. 6 times 12 is 72, and negative 17. Again, 8 and 9 here will work. Negative 8 times a negative 9 gives positive 72, and when you add them together, you get negative 17. 6x squared minus 8x minus 9x splits the middle term, plus 12. Factoring by grouping, this is a minus sign. We'll be factoring out a negative. Let's make that a plus, a negative. Common factor here is 2x. 3x is what's left when you divide 6x squared by 2x, minus 4, plus, we'll need to factor out the negative, negative 3 times 3x minus 4. Remember, we have a negative here, so we'll be factoring out a negative number. 3x minus 4 times 2x minus 3, and it's done. I'm going to skip down to solving number 43. You've been learning the zero product property. We'll use it here. First, we'll factor this portion of the equation, setting it all equal to 0. Using the diamond, 2 times 3 is 6, with a 5 here. 3 and 2 multiplied together give 6, and add to 5. So let's rewrite this middle term. 2x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 3 all equals 0. Factoring this by grouping, x times 2x plus 3 plus, we already have 2x plus 3, so we have an understood 1 in front. Pulling out the common binomial is 2x plus 3 times x plus 1, and that all equals 0. And now we can use our zero product property to solve for x. What values of x, if we put them into this trinomial, will give us 0? I'll set the factor 2x plus 3 equal to 0 and solve for x. And there is one solution to this equation. Now I'll set the second factor, x plus 1 equal to 0, and we know that x plus 1 equal to 0 means that x will be negative 1. So if we put x equals negative 1 into this quadratic equation, we will also get a 0. These are the two solutions.